The year is 1998, which Barney celebrate his 10th anniversary, and man, there were some interesting events, such as Barney attending the 55th Golden Globe Awards in Beverly Hills, California, LYONS Partnership filing a lawsuit on New Jersey costume shops, Barney's appearance in Planet Hollywood, putting his feet onto cement at the La Brea Tar Pits, Barney's first theatrical film, which we covered last time, Barney's big surprise ended its tour, although continued in some corners of the world, Barney's appearance on the Rosie O'Donnell Show, and more. And this is where Barney and Friends was the most watched television program with nearly 10 million views. And it has been doing so well that they decided to make a 5th season of Barney and Friends. So why not discuss season 5 and take a closer look? The production of Season 5 began in March of 1998, and then after 4 months, it ended in July later that year. The outside of the school, the inside of the school, and the treehouse remained largely the same, but the library setting was carried over from It's Time for Counting, which will cover the home videos eventually. The cast from the previous season had returned, and this was the final appearance of Ashley, Alyssa, Curtis, and Christian, while some new characters were introduced, such as Emily. No, not that Emily from Thomas or Clifford, darn it! Thank you. Anyways, Emily and Linda, who was the little sister of Chip. The Barney theme song remained largely the same, but the lyric vocals have been re-recorded.
Barney is a dinosaur from our imagination, and when he's tall, he's what we call a dinosaur sensation.
But in some international territories, however, they used the OG vocals from Season 4, and then somehow used the Season 5 through 6 vocals at the end. Don't believe me? I'll play this clip right here.
Barney comes to play with us whenever we may need him. Barney can be your friend too if you just make believe him.
This is something that I regret not talking about a long time ago. You see, some countries like Canada, UK, and other foreign countries in the late 90s, 2000s, some scenes has to be removed in order to be around 24 or 25 minutes. And because of this, some scenes with the Barney bag and even the Miss Etta and Scooter scenes were cut out. And unfortunately, this literal cutting trend moving forward when previous eras aired on TV in the 2000s and 2010s and not being around 26 or 28 minutes. I will go into detail on that once we get to the hit years. Anyways, still speaking of characters, there is a specific character worth mentioning to talk about, and that would be Booker T. Bookworm, created by Jim Koopa. He was a character that appeared in It's Time for Counting, and then after that, he was carried over to the TV series. His name was a pun of an African-American educator, Booker T. Washington, and he was an imaginary librarian of the school library. And he was puppeteered and voiced by Earl Fisher. And his 2 catchphrases are...
At your service.
And...
Curtis, why don't you check it out?
Now let's talk about the costume changes. While Baby Bop and BJ's designs remain largely the same, aside from the head was made a bit taller and slightly narrow, but for Barney, oh man, I had a couple of things to say about the Season 5 Barney costumes. The faces of these costumes are exactly the same as the Great Adventure costume, and probably based on the cartoon illustrations. I'm not even joking with the similarities. The first costume had the eye smaller, and the magenta purple he grows into is brighter, and most notably, the blinking mechanism had phased out. This is a bit of a disappointment for some Barney fans, but to me, I have been growing pretty okay with this moving forward. As for the double suit, well, it is a bit similar to the first one, but the eyelids are slightly higher and the sides of the head and the mouth are a bit wider. So therefore, because both of these costumes are similar, I'm equal on the Season 5 Barney costumes. And this isn't the first time that the blinking mechanic started to fade out with that trend. That honor goes to the double Season 4 costume. Anyways, let's talk about the episodes. The episodes themselves are awesome. One of my favorite episodes is obviously the first installment ever, Books Are Fun, which Curtis become way too much like Booker T, but then learn of how to be yourself. Howdy Friends is a rootin' tootin' great episode, learning on what cowboys and cowgirls do. Plus, that special guest appearance of Riders in the Sky is a treat to witness and listen to. Colors All Around is a great episode trying to help Mr. Boy to pick out a color for the school hallway and then decided on a beautiful rainbow. 7 days a week is enjoyable by helping BJ to pass the time by doing activities before his camping trip. A Royal Welcome is a great banger of an episode by making their treehouse into their own castle and having a special visit to Old King Cole. And this is literally the 100th episode of the series, which is amazing! And my favorite episode will have to go for Trading Places. There is just something about this episode which is really enjoyable, but yet really funny. Especially the part where BJ is literally in a freaking tutu. And that really had me laughing from beginning of the song to the end of The Sleeping Princess. But what I like about it is the moral about it's okay to feel jealous, but be grateful and thankful on what you have, which is a nice message to teach to kids. And the pacing and flow of this episode is pretty natural, giving a little bit of a season 3 vibe, at least to me. This was the first season to not be executive produced by series creator Cheryl Leach. This is the only televised appearance of Booker T. Bookworm, and then after that, never seen again, which is disappointing to be honest with you. And of course, the final time to have the 93 PBS logo next to the Peep House. In conclusion, Season 5 of Barney and Friends is a great season, and probably my favorite season of the Lyric Studios era. The episodes are amazing to watch, the music is great, the characters are great as always, including Booker T, and overall, the season is wonderful. So therefore, I give Barney and Friends Season 5 a 10 out of 10. And that concludes today's video. I hope you enjoy it. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let me know what are your thoughts on Season 5. Do you think it's great? Do you think it's good? Let me know in the comments. This is Dre Edwards, and I'll see you next time once we get into Season 6.